I was in the Air Force for 19 years, from the age of 18 up to the age of 38, and my first operational posting was here at Binbrook. When I arrived in 1981, I joined the Lightning training flight, so I'd been through my training in the Air Force and this was the final part of it, so I was posted to the Lightning. There were 3 of us on the course, so we arrived here and joined the Lightning training flight before, and if we were then successful, we joined one of the squadrons here, either number 5 or 11 squadron. They were the best of times. Just the most amount of fun a young man can have. At 21 you think you know a lot, but actually you know next to nothing, and to be allowed to fly an aeroplane like the Lightning was a boyhood dream come true for me, certainly. After a while there was nothing else like it. I think it took a while to realise that the aeroplane when we were flying was at the end of its life. It'd been in service for a very long time and there was much newer stuff out there. The F-16 and the F-18 had arrived in Europe, and we were a little bit outclassed in many ways, so you realise that there were better, more capable aeroplanes out there, whereas the Lightning had probably ruled the roost for a long time. It was coming to the end of its life. But it didn't dim the enjoyment. Flying the aeroplane was addictive. I think that's probably the word I would use. It was a highly addictive thing to fly. The two-seaters. When you're on the squadron, you only flew the two-seater for check rides as a general rule, so you were mainly flying the single-seater. So the two-seater represented going back into school, so you were suddenly back in with the flying instructor or the weapons instructor that you had to fly with every year, or you went back to the Lightning training flight to do a course. And as you can imagine, it's a little bit cosy. All right, so I've probably filled out a little bit over the years, but you get 2 reasonable-sized adults in here, and you're absolutely crammed in. It's very, very tight. Not a lot of fuel, which you can get rid of very quickly. The workload was high. You were airborne and virtually straight into whatever the task was, and then coming back and landing the aeroplane was always very exciting for a young lad, because of the approach speeds, very different from the Hawk that we'd been flying beforehand. So the two-seaters, mainly the Lightning training flight had the majority, and the squadrons had 1 each, but they were often broken. We always had to borrow aeroplanes for check rides and stuff like that. So, yeah, I enjoyed the single-seaters far more. I think most guys would say the same. Yeah, I mean, a lot of aeroplanes that have been on the ground for a while, souvenir hunters, generally strip them bare. But the aeroplane is in amazing shape inside here. Virtually everything is intact, which, yeah. I can't swear that I can tell you what everything does. And maybe I didn't know at the time, but most things, yeah.